50 Cent wants to give President Trump his 2 cents. He wants Diddy to stay in jail. He says he's going to contact Trump to dissuade him from considering a pardon for Sean Diddy Combs. The embattled rapper and producer is currently on trial for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Trump recently commented on a possible Diddy pardon. Let's watch.
Our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
50 Cent slammed Diddy last week on Instagram. He's alleging Diddy has said some really bad things about Trump. He also was trolling Diddy on X, writing, "Oh my goodness, itty bitty Diddy wants me dead. I have to lay low. I think I'm going to hide out at the playoff game tonight, LOL."
It all comes after the former CEO of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, suggested earlier this week that Diddy would receive a pardon if he's convicted.
Okay, so first of all, I don't think there was anything wrong with what Trump said there. He said, "Well, of course I'll look at any situation." Trump never says no comment. He never says I'm not addressing what you're talking about. If you say, "Mr. Trump, what if aliens attack?" He'll give you his, would you rule out using nuclear weapons against the Saturnanians if they attacked us? Trump's going to say, no, I wouldn't rule it out. He doesn't do no comment. So the fact that he said he would look at the Diddy situation does not mean he would pardon Diddy. And then he even said he would pardon any person if he thought they were treated unfairly, regardless
Untrue.
of...
I don't believe that, but okay.
Well, you don't have to believe it, but that's what he said.
That's what he said.
So I don't think
that everything Trump says is not exactly as it goes.
Well,
but
I don't have any problem with what he said. Now, okay, I am going to express, however, a hot take on the Diddy trial itself.
Okay.
Now that I have paid closer attention to it in the last couple weeks. My hot take is I don't think they are proving he is guilty of sex trafficking whatsoever. What he is guilty of is assault. He assaulted that woman. We saw the video footage of him attack her, of kicking her. He is absolutely guilty of assault, and if he had been charged with assault, I would have said, please convict him. But he was not charged with assault. My understanding is that's because the statute of limitations made that not something they could prosecute. So now they've creatively come up with this confusing, confounding sex trafficking charge that I don't think they are successfully proving at all. So I start to wonder, what is the point of this trial? He did an awful, brutal, violent thing to this woman. He should have been charged with assault. He's paid her, and that's what he did in the past. They're not proving, to my mind, that he's guilty of sex trafficking.
So,
what do you think?
Well, this whole conversation is not shocking to me. It's strategy on the part of Diddy's team. So back in March, I was on iHeart doing a show, and I told Angela Yee, who I was co-hosting with, that I spoke to somebody who's close to the Diddy trial that told me off the record that Diddy's team was already having preemptive early conversations. If this doesn't go the way that they want it to, would there be a pardon on the table and what that looks like. But I also know Trump doesn't hand out favors for free. So it makes me wonder why somebody who's criticizing him, he doesn't like a critic. That's a real statement. He does not like a critic. I don't think he hands out without some kind of loyalty behind it. He just handed it out to the Chrisleys from Chrisley Knows Best reality show. But what did their daughter do? She campaigned for him throughout the entire campaign season last year, basically asking him to please give her parents a pardon, but also showing up for him and rallying probably a young woman vote, which she is a young woman. So I don't know, some potential motivations on what Trump has the stake in for pardoning Diddy could be just looking at the black community that, Diddy was so close to for so many years. He's so close to everybody in hip hop and culture. He has all these brands, but just chipping away at that black male vote that he was touting throughout that campaign season and bringing it back to the Republican side. But I don't know that this is a good issue to fall your hat on to try to connect with black males. But I also think this could be a transactional deal. People say that Trump possibly could be having conversations about what he needs from you, quid pro quo, in order to pardon you, which is also shouldn't be acceptable for our president. So either one of those both look like something that you wouldn't want a president to step into. But otherwise, what will be the benefit of Trump pardoning somebody who has all these egregious claims against them?
I think I'm going to end up being the more woke one of the two of us in this conversation, but maybe would black men not appreciate a president saying that this is an unfair prosecution against someone for something he didn't do? Again, I'm not saying Diddy is innocent. I think he absolutely assaulted this woman and should have been charged for that. But I don't love that the criminal justice system, even if technically they can't get you on the thing you actually did, find some creative workaround where you get charged with perjury or conspiracy or obstruction or some procedural thing different from what you actually did. Because if they really try, if they really marshal all the resources of law enforcement and criminal justice against you, they can always get you for something. That's what Trump has found out. That's why he thinks the system is weaponized. And frankly, that has been something that progressives have said on behalf of black people and black men in particular for years and years and years, that the system is weaponized and is unfair, and they find a way to screw you.
But Trump
and
is not going in the weeds and
I don't
trying to
know.
protect,
It's kind of what
Trump
it looks
is not
like.
going in the weeds and trying to protect all these black men jailed for petty reasons. He literally is trying to get influence and power,
the First Step Act.
He's trying to associate with Diddy because Diddy has this, he's famous enough that he's useful for Trump in some way. And so we'll see what way that looks like, but I don't think that Trump is going to go on a tirade just finding out which other black men he could try to actually fight for criminal justice reform. So this just feels very like an intentional relationship trying to help Diddy, which to each their own, but our president just laying his hat on that is just
That does it for us today on Rising Live. Look out for more exclusive YouTube content coming your way today, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Hill's YouTube channel so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. See you back here tomorrow.